So here we are uh, on our stream on YouTube, on Transparency and Merit, both on X, and then two additional X channels, formerly known as Twitter. My Mr. Midnight Movie X page, and my Walk Against the Woke, Walk Woke page. And, I always tell myself that I'm not going to engage with leftists, but unfortunately, I find myself just reeled in to their absurdity. And it angers me so much that I feel that I am doing, when I post something that goes against their narrative, I'm doing a sense of justice, and I'm resisting their vile immorality, their vile thought process. And I feel like I'm doing a service for humanity, decency, and nobility when I stand up against them, because these people aren't decent or noble. They are the vile scum that are within our nation, and they are the worst people, not only in America, but I think throughout the civilized world. These people need to be crushed, and that is my hope. I hope to weaken their power. They are in the wheels of power within the power of the establishment, and I hope to throw caca into the gears, or maybe just the strength to not need them and go to other sources, because these people are the worst. I don't want to eat anything from them. I don't want to drink anything from them. And they've shown themselves since pre-pandemic and post-Floyd how vile and how nasty they are. And I feel like I'm trying to do my part to resist them to the best of my ability. Joey, what say you on what I've just stated? Do you have any comment on that?
Yeah, you sound like a warmonger and a division bell. I think that it's important to recognize that there are right-wing zealots that should be bopped over the head with some banana peels and a pink salmon. Listen, I get what you're saying though. Left wing ideology right now, maybe it's always been, is disturbing, and I do think that both sides, if you take a step deeper, both sides have a common injustice to work at, and by throwing the baby out with the bathwater, both sides should be able to learn from each other. But if you're throwing the baby out with the bathwater, then maybe you're missing some valid points. I doubt it. Maybe the other side just doesn't have any valid points anymore. Who knows? At the root of it, fighting a side is not working at fighting the real problem, in my view.
I think these people locked us down. They called us names, and they called us every foul name in the book. And they did so without due process. And the one thing is, I will give them due process. And if they're innocent, then no punishment shall be rendered. But if you've inflicted pain upon the innocent, punishment should be inflicted on those who inflict pain upon the innocent. An eye for an eye, Joey. I'm concluded, sir. That is my desire.
Yes. Oh, somebody farted in church. I don't know. I can't seem to get on board with going at left-wing morons when there's right-wing morons too. And in fact, how can one side morally, ideologically, whatever, how could one side get the best of the other side if both sides are flawed? Brian, I'd like that answer.
I do not. I do not doubt that both sides are flawed. But in a war, you have to make. This is a culture war, by the way. Hopefully, none of it gets violent. But this is a culture war. They've been, and one side has been extraordinarily aggressive and has locked us in our homes, has asked for the defunding of our law enforcement, has defamed our law enforcement, has defamed whites throughout the Western world. And if you try
to right people were responsible for setting some of these stupid mandates. Not every right-wing ideologue fought against it.
They didn't fight against those who were about freedom of speech. They didn't defame us. Joey, you and I saw these BLM protests.
Yeah, it was pretty ugly.
Let me tell you something. These people need to be humiliated as they have tried to humiliate and harm others. They cost people their jobs. They went out and canceled people. The cancelers need to be canceled. We need to blacklist these people, and we need to put dunce caps on their heads, march them through the streets as they did to others. The whip hand, they had the whip hand. It is our turn for the whip hand, Joey. Our turn for the whip hand. You hurt me, I give it back. You've done harm. If you've harmed the innocent,
well, I mean, I have felt the effects. I lost a job. I lost 2 other jobs I got hired onto, but because of some paperwork technicalities that were resultant from the vid, yeah, I suffered in that way. I lost a job, and then I got hired, and then unhired from these other 2 jobs. So it set me back a good 5 or 6 months. It really did, until I got back up and running and caught up again. But man, brutal. Meanwhile, I have a lot of lefty ideologue sorts as people I've known for a long time. A lot of those people have incredibly high paying jobs right now.
What if they were to lose those high paying jobs and they had their bank account seized? How would they feel then?
I think that whoever would do that, it would make too much noise to do that to those people. It wouldn't happen.
Oh, you don't think that the collective can say, we want this person to suffer, or we're going to take all of our money out, make them suffer?
Are you talking about winning over the court of public opinion?
Well, yes. I mean, you can do so. Like if people all of a sudden decided that, there's a bank and they said, you know what? If you have that person working there, we're going to take all of our money out of this bank. And they have, by the way, they have seized people's bank accounts. They have debanked them. The same should be done to them. Everything that they've asked to be done to others, and if it's been done unjustly, should be done to them.
Yeah, but
by nature. I mean, that's just natural.
But how do you separate that into, where they are politically?
Well, look, people have a long trail on social media and other things, and we can put that to bear. Like, hey, you're going to have to come to the court of public opinion and defend what you've done and defend the actions that you've taken.
Right, but what I'm saying is there's people on the right that were just as that did the same thing. You'd have to hold both sides to the fire.
I don't see a group on the right that's like the ADL or the SPLC. I don't see it.
So,
and if there is, you should be fought against too.
Yes, they should be fought against too, but the awareness should be raised as well.
Well, look, I'm all in favor because they didn't give out anyone else due process. I'm in favor of giving them what they never would have given to others. And I'm in favor of if they can explain themselves and they have good, I sound like a Maoist. You go to hell. Do I really sound like a Maoist? I'm only giving, you know what?
Look at that mug. Look at that mug right there.
He looks like he needs a shave. Let me put him in my chair and shave him.
Take a shave.
But my thing is, I'm only, doing to you, like, hey, how would you like it done to you? If you choose to harm people, and most of them want to do harm to people. If you choose to do harm to people, I'm going to do it to you too.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a desire. If you
Hurricane Dean.
You know what? I would love to have a boxing match with Hurricane Dean.
Hurricane Dean.
I would go bare knuckle with that dude. Where's Hurricane Dean?
He threatened my livelihood.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's a candy ass, by the way. He's a candy ass. I can tell. And there are people I wouldn't like Goofy Bone. I wouldn't challenge, but Hurricane Dean, yeah, I would take that dude. I would, he would have either broken ribs or a broken jaw.
Would you grab him by his goatee and drag him around?
I would rip his goatee off his face. Or does he have a mustache too, or just rip his goatee like that, and then like
just
that.
Rip it all off.
Just rip it off and make him eat it.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you threatening me? I shouldn't even get that way, but I've seen this behavior, and I'm a failed Stoic. When someone tells me to get out of here and screams racist at me or anything like that, and makes a demand upon me,
right?
My thing is, you're mean, but how tough are you to make those demands upon me?
And maybe to a lesser degree, if has that happened to you at work, in a subtle kind of way? Because with me at work, it's like I take it, but I have less patience now than I used to for it.
My thing is, and that's where I came, is like when you threaten my work and my livelihood, I want everything that you did to me, that you tried to do to me, done to you. Did it to me. Guess what? Now it's going to be done to you. The tables should turn. You did, like you had the big mouth, and the ones, hey man, they're all over the internet. The ones with the big mouths, you're going to get done what had done to you. And you don't have to do it violently. Again, boycotts, Bud Light, and say, hey, we'll take our money out of this bank. We'll take our money out of this bank if you don't deal with that person. You need to get rid of him, and you need to debank him.
You're talking about talking with your wallet, right?
Yeah.
Or are you talking about going a step further?
Some of these people I would like to see made bankrupt.
What about
sent to the bread line with no bread, Joey? No bread.
what about all these CEOs making just mega, like multi-million-dollar bonuses?
Yeah, that's, you know what? I mean, again, and you can't, maybe you can't get them all,
Right.
but you can get enough of them like, hey, we'll make an example of you
Right.
economically.
Yeah.
We can gather together as a collective to, like, if you do this kind of behavior again, you will be hurt. You will be hurt economically. Because that's primarily how they fear you, not physically. And if you do something physical, honestly, I'll sue the daylights out of you. I want you put in jail, and I will sue the daylights out of you. I will sue you to bankruptcy, and then I want to see you put in jail for a long time. For a long time, these violent protesters. Doesn't matter what side you're on. If you're violent, you do something stupid, you need to go to jail. You know, if you can't control yourself or you block the street, you need to go to jail for a while. If you block the street in any kind of protest, you need to go to jail for about 3 to 4 weeks with limited food because you're probably too fat. And these people who are assaulting individuals on the street and filming it, the people who are viciously assaulting people, they need to go to jail. They need to be sued into nothingness. I'm trying to lose weight, High Ridge Estates, but I don't want to be as skinny like you, Ichabod Crane. What does he weigh? About 102 pounds of nothing?
I think he even mentioned it not that long ago. I think he said about 132, dripping wet.
Does he have Mark Wallace disease? You know what I mean by that, right?
Yes. Wow. At least I'm not. Oh.
Dio Babo Fatto.
I don't know what that is.
Diabetes. Diabetes. Here's the thing, Joey.
I gotta put the machine on my arm. Pump, pump, pump. Pump, pump, pump.
But here's the thing. Scotty Poo, I think because he smokes about 4 packs a day.
Right.
And lives on coffee, cigarettes,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe a little bit of the
Jamba Jamba.
MEH, the blue ice, when he can find it. And, you know,
blue ice.
He probably smokes Primos, which is marijuana.
Mr.
And
White.
Wait. Boo-hoo-hoo. Now, I do say this, by the way. Stoic, calm, transparency, and merit, recovering drama queen. Which, by the way, I am. I'm a drama queen bitch, man. Have you ever had Primo donuts, Joey?
I had Blinky's donuts last week. You ever have Blinky's?
No, they sound like
incredible.
Like something that someone sticks up their butt and then give you a Blinky.
That's a blinking.
but Joe,
donuts is across the street.
Now you remember that donut place on Palms that we went to, and you said it was like one of the most delicious.
That it was great because it was a maple bar with cream just ran right down the middle of it. Oh, lengthwise, it was great.
Yeah, but it's no longer around. But you consider that like a slice of heaven.
Blinky's is not a bad place. They have some pretty good donuts on the menu. So,
yeah. But the pandemic closed a lot of those restaurants down, and now that the
Well,
minimum wage,
the ones that survived have cleaned up. They may serve some more interesting styles of foods. I've noticed. Most places have taken the opportunity to refurbish their front end, and then they also have new menus or new dishes and the whole bit. And it's all just like for some reason what I don't get is all that happened, and now we're just paying the bill. We just we pay almost double the price now for some of these foods.
yeah.
So basically, I mean, it's just such a racket.
Oh,
You got
well,
to in these times, you got to defend yourself. You've got to play defense with your wallet and with your resources. You got to be kind of careful. It's turned into that sort of climate.
and sometimes you got to play like you got to know when to play offense and when to shoot the ball, man. Because yeah, at this point, it's like, but it's
Right.
hard. It's sometimes when you shoot the ball and you make an air shot, the other guys are going, "What are you doing?"
Well, yeah, there's no. You're right. Yeah, exactly. You don't want to not stretch the floor out a little bit and chipping in now offensively, but like, right, you don't want to feel the ire of the court of public opinion.
Yeah. Right now, it's just I've just been angry at some of these buffoons that are around, and it's just I I get so mad at the hyperbolic and stupid people.
Brian, you're so hyperbolic. Scott,
There's Scotty Poo.
I wish Scott would call in. I really want to hear you two get
Wait a
on.
minute. Can I put a link in here? Let me see if I can put a link
Yeah,
in.
Scotty, can you call us? Come on. What else?
Let me put a link in, Scotty Poo.
Come on, Scotty Poo.
Does the link work? All right, put a link in if Scotty Poo wants to talk.
I think what he'll have to do is
or you can put it in the StreamYard. We can have Scotty Poo is what 120 pound body can come in here, and I can like we can have a mental mind, and I can throw him across. I don't need to do a schedule a time for you. What are you, a little baby? I'm not your child.
If you can't use that link I posted,
180 pounds. Give me a break. How tall is Scotty Poo?
he's about 6'8" and 130 pounds.
He says he's 100, almost 180. Give me a break. How much do you weigh, Joey?
Not much more than that. Maybe about 187.
I mean, I wonder how tall Scotty Poo is, but he does not look 180. He looks like take about 60 pounds off of that, maybe 90 pounds off of that. Come on.
Right. 180 in your wildest.
Yeah. 6 foot?
6 foot, 132 pounds. Pure beef.
Pure beef, maybe 120 pounds, weighing 110 pounds. A pure
80-20.
You know what? I don't remember any day before. Sometimes I go through a diabetic haze. Thank you for reminding me of that I've asked it before. Take some more Rogaine for your brain. Now,
yes.
Yeah, Scotty wants us to prepare him for a time before we take him to fucking Disneyland. And, get him some cotton candy to shove up his ass, which he'll love. But now, Joey, I'm just so fucking angry at times, and I can't help it. These people disgust me. I just want to verbally.
I get it.
I want to tell them that they're the worst human beings on the face of the earth. They're the scum, and they're egocentric, abusive, toxic booger eaters who need their pimples popped on every one of their asses. I just wish I could take a belt to every one of them and give them the fatherly spanking they never had. Just a few swipes with my father's belt. Because I never had children, and I get to, these children need like just a swipe of the belt just across the face, like a few times across the buttocks. And then when they're like trying to cover up and going, oh, I've had enough, just one to the face. Maybe. Ooh. Just kidding. But that's how I feel. Like, I mean, some of these people, they act like a bunch of spoiled brats. Some of these people in legacy media, there's a bald guy. I forget his name. But he was on the Bill Maher show. I forget the other guy's name. He's a British guy. But he was so snarky and so condescending. I just wanted to say, did your father not slap you enough when you were a child to behave that way? What the hell is wrong with you? You spoiled brat. And Scott has admitted, by the way, that he wasn't spanked hard enough before. He wasn't spanked enough as a child. And, I can spank him verbally now. Maybe if I paid him about $10, he'd let me hit him like a few times with a belt. Just give me a few swipes with you. Let me hit you on the buttocks, huh? Just, I want to get a rattan that's from Singapore because there is a part of me that would like to do judicial corporal punishment for these barbarians, and they need barbaric treatment. They need some of the violent people need like 3 swats across the buttocks and then one right to the grill. That would be so beautiful to see them in pain. By the way, there was a guy, I sent him a thing of a guy of judicial corporal punishment of a guy being walloped.
Right.
And his response was, what the hell was his response? My safe word is barbecue or something like that. Or no, my safe word is guava.
Guava.
Yeah. Because I said, you sound like someone that needs, that judicial corporal punishment might do you some well, because you seem like you're violent and unhinged, and perhaps the infliction of pain would lessen your prison sentence that you'd receive for being violent. I just think that violent people should be met with violence. Those inflicted with pain should be inflicted with massive amounts of pain. And I'm seeing some of these people starting fights on Twitter, and I'm thinking, God, I wish we had judicial corporal punishment like they do in Singapore, just for violent felons.
Yeah.
Just to give them a few just swipes. And then, like, I would love to be like a prison guard, just with a rattan, like some form of rattan or like a bamboo stick where I just could, just swipe some of these criminals like just across the face and maybe jab them in the collarbone, and then one maybe across the eardrum, just to say, hey, if you mess up around here, we're the beaters now. We're the abusers now. And you don't like it, do you? We're the bullies now. Look at me. I'm the bully now. You will be beaten with bamboo sticks, rattans, knees to the face. You'll have a good night bamboo stick across the temple before you go to bed.
Sleep well.
Sleep well. Pleasant dreams. Here's some stars. All right, Joey, is there anything to add before I
Oh man. Inflicting pain.
there is a
And
part of me that believes in that.
I don't know.
And maybe I'm wrong, but you know what? I think it would make a lot of, like some of these people that have done, like particularly on camera, who've done really brutal assaults. If they could be caned, like I think a lot of people would say this is, if a person inflicts pain and then they have pain inflicted upon them, I think that would make a lot of people happy, and a lot of people would see that it is just, because those that do violence, if they have the same violence that they've inflicted upon others done to them, I think it would be, I don't know, there's a part of me that says that's a just world. That's justice within society. Am I wrong on any part of this, Joey?
So you're talking about, because something like that would get canned by the Supreme Court, of course. But
Cruel, but how is it cruel and unusual? It's just punishment. I don't think it's, if they're cruel and unusual people. I mean, if they're exceptionally cruel, I don't think it's cruel and unusual. I think it's justice. If they had no mercy with what they did and they inflicted pain, shouldn't they have the same thing inflicted upon them? Isn't that righteousness?
I definitely think you'd see a heavy decline in crime, because who the hell wants to go through that?
Yes, yes. So my caning initiative, I had my pleasure and pain initiative, but my caning initiative, because I was inspired. There was a young man that was caned in Singapore, and I said, could we have that? Could we implement that in America?
And what did
Yeah.
what did he get caned for?
For graffiti. And look,
Right, he was throwing his gum around and stuff.
well, no, it was actually he was spray painting. But for
Oh,
me, look, I don't think that should happen for for property damage. My opinion is this: it should be done for violent crime.
right.
Violent crime, and maybe people that are habitual offenders, but violent crime should be met with violent means. And I do believe that caning would be wonderful, and maybe, like, 3 times across the buttocks, and then one more for the grill. And then if they act good and they behave, they won't get caned again. But they're going to spend time in the infirmary, and it always will be reminded that, yeah, if you mess up in this jail cell, you can face the rattan again. And they used to do that back in the day in Western culture. And like I said, it's done in Singapore, and it used to be done in Japan as well.
Was
But
it?
yeah,
When was the last time? I guess Singapore, but aside from Singapore, when was the last time we would have seen it in any relevant cultures?
I think in the 70s, 72, I think was the last time we stopped
Oh wow.
judicial corporal. I could be wrong. It might have been the 50s, but I know that was on the books. But you know what? Now that I've seen these violent criminals,
Mhm.
and it's on tape and they're on video, I don't know if I have a problem with not all violent criminals, but certain violent criminals. I think it would be good to have judicial corporal punishment. Could be wrong. I think we should do a show on that, by the way, Joey.
Yeah, we might have to do that. I think so.
All right. Anything to add before we call this show a day?
No, thank you for hanging out. Make sure you like and subscribe. And Scotty, thanks for hanging out. We have a whole lot of projects we're working on, so pay attention to Transparency and Merit, maybe even Mr. Midnight Movie and Jewish Producer.
Like, subscribe, leave a comment down below.
Yes.
What the hell?
Don't like.
What does that even mean? Thank you guys for listening. No hard feelings. Some people do need to be caned. Thank you.
How